Another day, another video. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we are watching Young Sheldon. This is the 13th episode of the final season. Hope you guys have been enjoying it so far. If you'd like to watch today's full episode, it is available for the link in the description below. Just clicking it, put the password in, and enjoy. Mate, last episode. Actually, before we start that, if you're not yet voted for your most liked characters throughout the franchise, please do. Links in the description. 3 votes are allowed. Next episode, we will be revealing those results. Now, last episode, what an ending. We just found out George died. Didn't see it. Come out of nowhere. It's just crazy. And that's literally all I can give you about that information, apart from he had a heart attack and passed away. And it's like, what the heck? Honestly, I can't believe it. You know what I mean? Like, I knew that he died because Sheldon mentioned it in The Big Bang Theory, but I didn't know he died in this show. And especially the way he has done. And, you know, it's kind of upsetting. Now, I was looking, actually, to see, was there a reason why the show got cancelled? And to be honest, it was pulling in great numbers. I knew that it was pulling numbers already that was decent, but I think the first season got like 16 million views per episode. Then it went to like 11 million views per episode. So obviously there's a dip, and then it dipped again to 9 million views. But then every season, once it got in the 9 million mark, stayed at 9 million. So from like season 3 to season 6, 7, all 9 million. So like, it's consistent. It's doing well, performing good. And in the contrast to that, I thought, you know what, let's see what Georgie and Mandy are doing. They're on 6 million, which is obviously a dip as well, but consistently holding that. So I don't know. I think it's kind of strange, really, that we decided to end the program when it was actually pulling in consistent ratings, and they could kind of bank on what to expect an audience pull. And I don't know if it was rushed or anything, but like in that information that I was reading, it said that the final episode was like an hour long. But I've just looked on mine, and it's only 20 minutes. On Netflix, it's only 20 minutes. So I actually have no idea. Like, is there an hour-long episode somewhere? Or, you know, I'm only obviously going to watch the 20-minute one because that's all I've got available to me. But, yeah, I just thought, like, that was interesting. I read that on the internet after, obviously, he passed away. I was like, let me see how good the show was doing. And then it said, obviously, the final episode was an hour-long monologue or something. But then I looked at Netflix and it's not, so I don't really know what's going on there. But I'm excited to see today's episode and also upset at the same time. Yesterday's one was a shocker, and obviously today's we're going to see the aftermath of it. Totally unexpected. It's going to be absolute chaos. I expect it to be, and I'm assuming that today or tomorrow is going to be his funeral, which is obviously going to be a proper sadden. But thanks for checking out today's episode. Hope you guys enjoy it. If you do, please smash the like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new, and as always, let's jump into today's episode.
When my father died, I was flummoxed by all the different ways people expressed grief. My mother threw herself into religion. My Meemaw turned to a different kind of spirit. My brother tried to fill the vacuum created by my father's passing.
$3,500. You do realize we're talking about the beloved head coach of a winning football team.
I made you a casserole.
Not seen these in a while, have we?
I bought you a casserole.
Costco one.
And of course, I thought about Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, and how upset I was over the death of Spock.
Thinking about Star Trek.
What is wrong with you? Our dad just died.
If there's any pictures of George you'd like to display at the ceremony, I'll need to get those.
He did always play Born to Be Wild when the team ran out on the field.
Not sure our organist knows that one.
We are leaving for the Blue Bonnet Picture Tour. Don't be late.
Wouldn't miss it. See y'all later. See y'all later.
You play the last
Dad, wait.
moments.
I have been and always shall be your friend.
Live long and prosper.
Dad, wait.
Yeah?
Bye. I was thinking about alternate realities branching off from a single decision point. Only one of them was about Star Trek.
Healthy for everyone to let their feelings out.
Oh, shut up, Jeff.
Missy!
Jeff.
Go to your room.
Just go.
You might...
See y'all later.
4 o'clock.
Dad, wait.
Yeah?
I love you.
I love you too, son.
Now you and I have something in common.
What's that?
My dad's gone too. Want a hug?
No.
Want a kiss?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
What the hell are you doing?
Sitting?
That's my dad's chair.
Not there.
Sheldon's spot.
That's my spot.
Cleaned out George's desk. Well, Thought you might like his stuff.
You doing okay?
Oh yeah. Don't worry about me. I used to mess with him by telling him he was my best white friend, but the truth is that he was my best friend.
Hope you like casserole.
I do like casserole.
Eventually, I realized there was a better way to deal with grief. Avoid it completely.
Well, if there's anything you need...
Nope.
Looks a little big for you.
It's my dad's.
That'll be $8.
What you doing?
Trying to write my speech. George was a good husband, a good father, and a good coach. How did you get through Dad's funeral?
Drank tequila and smoked a marijuana cigarette.
It was the night before he shipped out to Vietnam. Into my bedroom, and we,
Mary Tucker.
I wanted to make sure he knew what he was fighting for.
See, that's the story you should tell at the service.
Mad at him for leaving me.
Yeah, I get that.
People are like that, yeah.
I was mad at your daddy when he passed. And listen, if you can't think of anything complimentary to say, just make stuff up.
The thing is, right, is I think you just gotta shoot from the hip, me. Like, when I'm talking here, I'll just shoot from the hip, and I could start speaking about one thing and I'd go off on a tangent on another. And then I forget what I started with. And that's the same thing you do there. You go in, George was a great dad. You know, when we had our first kid and we done this and this, and we thought it was going to be terrible parents, you know what I mean? Like, couldn't handle it. We were stressed. We thought it was going to break up, and then we pulled together. We had the twins. Oh, mate, you know, that was hard as well. But he was a determined dad, do you know what I mean? He went to work every day, and speaking about work, he was fucking helping the kids out. Not only our kids, but other people's kids. You know, he loved it, the passion, the football. Look at this chair, do you know what I mean? He never left it. He was always there watching. And you're just going through it. And to be honest, anything that annoyed you about him, you loved that about him. Because that's what makes it him. Do you know what I mean? So, like, when you're moaning that he's drinking all this Lone Star beer and he's spending all that time in the chair, you know, that's something that you love about it. That's his personality. That's what made George George. Do you know what I'm saying? That's your husband, and that's where you fell in love with it. And he would have done that at the start, and he'd do it now. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's all these little things that you go through and you think of, and you love-hate the relationship between your partner because they do all these things that peck your head and get on your nerves. But you wouldn't change it for the world because then it wouldn't be them. Would it? You know what I'm saying? And you don't need a book to sit here and write about, oh, George was this, George was that. You just go off your memories. And whether you're sitting there crying about, do you know what I mean? Saying a memory that you done when you was a child or when you first met and all that one there, that's what you do. Because people like real emotions and real stories. And it makes you laugh when you tell them different things. And that's what I think they should do. Because obviously he was a great guy and he was a good dad. I personally believe anyway from what I seen. He always tried his best, you know. You don't have to be rich to be a good person and be there for the family. And he was always working and was always there trying to support. And, you know, like I said, like, I'm sorry for her and the family. And, you know, hopefully he gets a great send-off because the way we found out that he passed was a little bit disappointing. But, you know, there's always time to recover from that.
See y'all later.
Dad, wait. Can I go with you?
Sure. I didn't know him long, but I love that guy.
Is he okay?
He's not really talking to anybody.
We'll keep him company.
I'll try to distract him by telling him the latest news about Lepton.
So you knew him well?
A little. How about you?
I taught Sheldon science.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I'm single.
Same.
Let me help you with that.
Holy moly.
It's good, huh?
Unbelievable.
I'll leave you to it.
No, sit with me.
Thank you for that.
You don't need to worry. I've got everything under control.
Sheldon, they're gonna close the casket if you want to say goodbye to your dad. You really didn't want to take that family portrait, did you?
I'd like to see that, to be honest, you know.
When I quit the football team, I thought my dad was going to kill me. And then when I quit high school, I really thought he was going to kill me. Then, when I got my girlfriend pregnant, I was sure he was going to kill me. No matter what I did, he always had my back.
George and I had our ups and downs, but we were finally in such a good place. And then he left.
Thank you.
Thank you, darling. Thank you, Jeff. It's certainly hard for me. No one is more upset than the Lone Star Beer Company. That flag is at half-mast. I wasn't always a big supporter of George and Mary. George only had eyes for Mary. And, of course, Brisket. And over the years, he's surely earned my respect. He was a good man.
See, like, I know that throughout the whole show, they was always back and forth at each other, weren't they? They was always, like, arguing and calling each other names and stuff. But, like, at the end of the day, what more could a mum want than their child to be in a relationship with somebody, whether it's boy or girl, that absolutely loves them and looks after them and treats them well and always puts them first. Do you know what I mean? Like, whether or not you get along, yeah, that doesn't matter. It matters what they do to your child. And he was a great dad, a great husband. He provided, you know, what's mad is like one person can impact like the world in little ways. So, for example, in the context of this show and the Big Bang Theory, like, George's actions created a Nobel Prize winner. And obviously his action was sleeping with Mary, but, like, it was also his upbringing, his teachings, taking him to his classes, you know, being there, being a dad. Like, I'm always a firm believer, and I've said it many times before, about different episodes and different shows, but, like, a kid is a stem from the parent. They're an upbringing, you know. Where if you're a proper druggie and an alcoholic, yeah, like, your kid is most likely going to grow up in an environment where they kind of think that that's okay, and, you know what I mean, and, like, they see the world differently to maybe somebody who's, like, a hardcore religious person who grows up, I don't know, doing loads of charity work and stuff like that. Do you understand? You're a stem from a parent, you know. If you treat everybody with respect, yes ma'am, no ma'am, please, thank you, do you know what I mean, like, always there, respect your elders, then you're going to do that and instill that yourself. And I feel like he's provided that to his children, and you can see them as they progress older. They're all kind of successful and they all do their own thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, Sheldon's a Nobel Prize winner, George opens a shop and he's just got a successful business. We don't really know much about Miss Eyre, but we do know that she grows up to be a mum herself with lots of kids, and I'm going to assume that she's a good parent as well, because, you know, all the other kids have been brought up well. So, I don't know. It's just, I just think it's mad to me that, like, one person's actions can create a little family, which then can, like, a ripple to make a bit more and a bit more. And in 100 years, if you're not here, you could have loads of people impacting the world and changing things here and there. And, you know, I do respect George. I think he's like I said, a parrot, but he's been a good dad. And from everything that I've seen of him, I've really enjoyed him as a character. And to be honest, I don't think I've ever really disliked anything that he's ever done.
Wayne here is trying to say George was a hell of a coach, and we're going to miss him a hell of a lot.
I've been thinking a lot about the last moments I had with my dad. It was morning and he was leaving for work. He said, "See y'all later," and I said nothing. I could have said bye or asked him for a ride. I barely noticed he left. I hope he knew how much I loved him.
I wish I could tell you I said all those things, but I didn't.
Shelley?
Father, who is in heaven, hallowed be your name.
Now that I'm his age and have kids of my own, I realize he was just a person doing the best he could. I loved my father. I will miss him forever.
I enjoyed that episode. I wish you had that song. I wish that I knew what I know now. And when I was younger. That's literally like what Sheldon there, as an adult in his narration, was wanting to tell his younger self there. You know, from his experiences being a dad, which we actually not seen. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've not even seen him one time. He's made a couple of narrations that he's got kids. At first when he said it, I think he was in the kitchen. I was like, what? He's got kids? Like, what's going on? And then I think that, well, a kid, because I think the first time was like, I'm a dad. And then, like, obviously, I feel like he's got 2 kids now. I think we may have heard Amy narrate one time as well, but, like, we're not really seeing them at all, have we? But it is true. And the thing is as well, right, you can't dwell on the past. So you can't say, oh, I wish I said this, or I wish I'd done this, or I wish I went with him, because you never know when's going to be your last day. And you can also flip that and say, well, if you never know anything's going to be your last day, you should always tell him you love him. You should always do this. You should always... No, I don't think you should. Because then you're acting out of character. You know, if I started walking around now and telling everybody that I loved him, everyone like, is something wrong? Are you okay? Everybody knows, like he was just saying in his speech that he didn't do, is I hope that my dad knows how much I loved him. Yeah? He will know that. Like, you just do, don't you? Like, let's be honest, like, I don't have to tell my parents that, and they don't have to tell me that for me to know that that's the case. Because actions speak louder than words. Do you know what I mean? Like, his dad leaving and saying, Dad, I love you. Yeah? He's not going to do anything or improve anything. What it is doing is always being there for him, always sticking up for him, always helping him, always engaging, always being, you know, like, together. And he will know that he obviously loves him. And like I said, if you look throughout the show consistently, George is always there for Sheldon. Alright, yeah, he might not be the science guy, do you know what I mean, that can support him in all these situations, but, like, when he can, he will take him to a situation, he'll take him to a place. He's been on trips, he went to Houston, you know what I mean? You know, I think he took him on his first plane when he went, I can't remember where he went now, but his dad's always there, and why? Because he loved him, do you know what I mean? So, like, I understand why Sheldon's not spoke here. To me, it's understandable, everybody agrees in their own way, you know. We see in the episode at the start, Missy was lashing out. Georgia was actually composed throughout the whole thing, which is fair play. He's handling it really maturely, and she's lashing out a little bit. But how can you say that one person's right and one person's wrong to grieve in the way that they're doing about the dad that they love? You know what I mean? You just gotta accept it and just get on with it, as ruthless as it is to say. But this was a really nice episode. You know, it was a sad episode, but it was a feel-good one, and those are the best ones, you know what I mean? Like, although it was a sad, like, story to the episode, the whole episode was kind of reminiscing and happy feels about George, and, you know, turns out, well, that resulted into me really, really enjoying the episode. Okay, that is going to wrap up today's episode. Thanks so much for checking out the channel today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you've not yet voted for your most liked characters throughout the whole entire franchise, please do. This is the last time you are able to do it for it to be shown in the final episode. You can do it after the episode's aired, but, you know, you're not going to see it in the final episode. You can always change it, dictate the results, but if you want it to be seen in the last episode and you have time, please do vote. Now, this was a sad episode. It really, really was. You know, I'm not really too sure how you conclude a show next episode with one episode, because, like, there's no build up to anything, if that makes sense. So, like, usually there's a big storyline that you build up to and then you got that ending, and you know what I mean? However, if you look at this one, this kind of come out of nowhere, and then it feels like a massive, momentous, big, impactful thing that's happened, and I don't know how you, like, have just one more episode to finish it off, you know what I mean? I feel like this feels like it should be the finale, but then we was kind of building to Sheldon leaving to California, and that is what I'm assuming may be the last episode. It's going to be interesting to see how we finish it off, because today's was a great episode and it was sad. And the next episode, obviously, I don't really know how we're going to do it to send it off, but I'm excited to see it. I mean, obviously, Mary didn't really manage to do an amazing speech. She had one wrote down, but then I was saying you should shoot from the hip and just go from all the memories that you've got. But, like, she shot from the hip but went the opposite way, saying how frustrated and upset and mad she was at him and at God and just at life in general. Do you know what I mean? She's like, I'm young. We were young. We've just got a new grandbaby here. Why is this happening to us? You know what I mean? George was a good man. He's just got a new job. You know, he's going to move. Why did our family deserve this? You know, we go to church all the time. We're good for the community. We always give out good positive vibes. He's a teacher. He helps people. us, God? Why us? And that's what she's thinking, and she's stressed out, and, you know, she started crying, and she's gone and sat down, and then obviously we've seen Connie come up. Now, she's done her speech, and like I said, you know, throughout watching the show, they've always been back and forth in a love-hate thing, haven't they? And, you know, you got to respect that, and they both always have respect. You know, you can pick on somebody and be mean to them as much as you want, but there's always a respect and a boundary and a line there. You know, many people don't understand this. What I said, I've not said it here because this show is not needed, but like in many other shows that we've seen before, when you've got timid characters and like characters kind of on the fringe, I always say that friendly bullying between the friend groups I'm always an advocate for it. And like people don't understand that because they'd be like, bullying's never good, It's like, no, that's not what I'm saying. You've completely took the concept of what I'm saying, the context of it, and just threw it out the wall and not listened. You know, it's friendly bullying. You know, if I'm in a friendship group with somebody and we are clear and 100% all day, every day friends, you know, I'm not there being mean to them. We hang out all the time, like the Big Bang Theory, all of them together. Now, a good example of friendly bullying is Howard used to bully Raj. He did. He used to take the mick out his accent all the time, everything that he said, his homeland, everything. But like he never done it in a malicious way, and he was always like, yeah, there was one episode or something where Raj was like, oh, we're no longer friends, and like, but apart from that, do you know what I mean? Because he was going through something, that there, it builds connection. It picks another person up as well. Like if you ever been in a friendship group where somebody will tell a joke and a person gets upset and you're like, mate, why are you getting upset? We're only taking a piss, man. We're only having a laugh. What you should do with that is you should fire one back and you should take the piss out of them and make them upset and, and back and forth. And there's always that little fine line, and they had it. You know, he used to always moan at Connie and Connie used to always moan at him. But at the end of the day, they was both friends. They both had respect. They never went too far and said something personal where, like, one person felt absolutely attacked and feelings hurt. It was just always an old joke or a fat joke or something like that, and he used to banter it, and that's what she was saying there. She was taking some of his, well, I won't say negatives, but she was taking a mick out of him there. Lone Star Company's flying flag at half-mast. Cows are, loving it, they're not going to be eaten anymore. Like, she's taking the piss out of him, but in a friendly banter way where they've got mutual respect, and she even stated it there. And I feel like, me anyway, relationships that I'm in life, I like that. I like it where somebody can rinse me, and one day I'll think, oh, mate, he's proper done me in there. You know what I mean? Proper done me in there. And next time I'm there trying to, have the banter and the crap back and get one up on them. But there's always that respect and line in the sand. You're never going to go too deep where you physically say something where you're going to hate them for the rest of your life. There's always that, just that invisible line in the sand. And they knew where it was, and they was good for it. And I always enjoyed their relationship. And I was happy that it was her that done the kind of final speech on him, because it means something. Because everybody else would have witnessed their relationship, and everybody else could see that they was always back and forth. But then when you get one of them people standing there saying how much they love that other person, how proud they are, they're happy that they was, the father to their grandchildren and there for, the daughter, and they respect everything that they've done, that's when you know that that's a good person. You know what I mean? So I really enjoyed that speech from her, and that's obviously where I'm going to end. Emotional episode. There's one left. I'm excited to see it, but obviously I have no idea how it's going to conclude. Thanks for checking out today's episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please smash a like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.